Visitation is not permitted.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gameplay reveal just dropped, which was peppered with numerous Easter eggs and references, as well as a closer look at the game's mechanics, story, and combat. So here is everything we know about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Accept the past. Execute Order 66.
Starting with the story. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a single-player action-adventure game set post-Order 66, where Jedi have been mostly hunted down. Cal Kestis, a surviving Padawan, is tasked with the burden of trying to restore the Fallen Order. This demo, still in alpha, takes place about 3 hours into the game. Cal is not a fledgling Padawan, but also isn't a fully fledged Jedi either, and his abilities will reflect this. In the mission, we start on Imperial-controlled Kashyyyk, aided by Cal's adventure droid, BD-1. Heading to our Rebel contact, the first thing you'll notice is Respawn have tried to make Cal move in a more realistic way. Jeff Magers said in an interview with Game Informer, "We're an action-adventure game with a ton of different obstacles you can run into. We've got the wall runs, we've got vines you can swing from, balance beams, climbs. We've got a big suite of these traversal tools and toys."
Jedi, over here.
Majors said there are some instances where Cal will be wall running and have to execute force powers mid-sprint in order to unlock new paths before he reaches the end. With ties looming over us, we head to our Rebel contact, the infamously brutal Saw Gerrera.
Imperial sap refinery lies dead ahead.
What does the Empire want with tree sap?
Nothing good. They refine the sap into a powerful compound, and they're rushing to expand production.
We have to stop them.
That's the plan. We don't know their endgame, but they spread themselves too thin. This map we recovered proves it.
Here you go, bud.
These refineries double as brutal prison camps. We use those cutters to create a distraction, while you take your lightsaber and free the Wookiees inside. We need their help to stop the Empire.
Understood.
Watch yourself in there.
You hear that? He said he needs my help. Come on, buddy.
With our new objective, free the Wookiees, we get a better look at the Imperial base thanks to one of BD-1's many abilities, holoprojection. Lighting our lightsaber, which doubles as illumination, we see a door in our path. If I may digress for 1 second and address the elephant in the room, you will probably notice that freeing Wookiees on Kashyyyk, the Force push, and a lot of elements clearly draw inspiration from the Force Unleashed. Cal tenuously makes his way across a wet branch, showcasing the game's attention to movement, and exit the cave to be met with the Imperial oil refinery. After taking in the full breadth of what Kashyyyk has to offer, we see a skirmish with rebels versus stormtroopers near one of our objectives, the giant saws, which, as Saw pointed out, will create a diversion. Kinetically double jumping into a roll/push, Cal knocks down steel piping to reveal a small band of stormtroopers who have also noticed the fighting.
Over there. One of the cutters turned on. Are we running some kind of drill? We should call it in? Will that be a breach of protocol? If there's a disturbance, their squad should call it in.
Taking advantage of their distracted state, Cal flips in to start his first combat, hitting the first Stormy with a horizontal slash. The second is taken out by a timed deflect. Note, it has to be timed or the bolts fly in every direction harmlessly. The third is destroyed with a force pull/impale combo.
Taking aim!
The fourth buckethead with a freeze attack, it appears as the bolt is frozen too, it mirrors the force ability made famous by Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens, fully immobilizing not only a victim, but slowing their blaster bolt mid-shot as well. It's then that BD-1 showcases another handy companion ability, slicing. Although of note is his model's quirky use of his foot to house the slicing unit. Having alerted in an Imperial astromech, we follow it towards a gaggle of scout troopers. The first of them gets an astromech to the grill and are none too happy about it. Cal uses a burst of speed to dash at the first trooper, dispatching him with a single strike. The third baton-wielding trooper holds his ground but is easily dispatched with a disarm strike that not only disarms him, but sweeps his knees out from him too. It's then a previously unseen trooper beckons for you to attack him, and while your initial attack is successfully deflected by a stun baton, it stuns him long enough for you to do a mini finisher, twisting his arm and slashing out his kidneys. We are rewarded with 1 skill point post-kill, which will be able to be applied on New World hubs. Opening a door, we see 2 of Guerrero's rebels being brutally snuffed out by a purge trooper.
A Jedi. This is what I've trained for.
In canon, purge troopers were Imperial clone troopers led by the Sith Lord, Darth Vader, and the Inquisitorius during the reign of the Galactic Empire. Trained as expendable death squads, they were activated after the Jedi Purge, and subsequent termination of the cloning operation on Kamino, making them the last generation produced from the Jango Fett template. As you may notice, the combat has been inspired in part by Dark Souls, which Respawn's designers have said has been a heavy influence. It's also reliant heavily on timing of parries, blocks, deflection, dodges, footwork, and of course, a bevy of unlockable force powers. Cal finishes the Electro-Staff wielding Purge Trooper with a high kick to the throat and a quick uppercut. It's then that we hear Saw Gerrera above.
Looks like you're blocked. I'll fix that. Never seen a trooper like that before. You gotta get these Wookiees out of lockup. Keep moving, Jedi. Vent's open. Go.
Think you can help me, BD?
What you just saw was a brief shot of Cal just using a healing canister, which companion droid BD-1 stores. Interestingly, according to Game Informer, since Cal doesn't heal over time during combat, he needs to rely on health canisters to get a boost on the fly. These health canisters function exactly like Dark Souls Estus flasks and won't replenish until the player finds a save point or returns to the Stinger Mantis. For Star Wars Galaxies fans, we see a canon edition of Flame Beetles, as a nest seems to be stirred up by the hapless Buckethead Flame Troopers. Crossing the plank and flanking the Flame Troopers, Cal dispatches the first with a slash, freezes the second, and uses a push integrating, which results in his canister faulting and exploding, effectively making him a human grenade and showcasing that the environment can be used as a weapon. The third trooper, backing Cal into a corner, starts charring his flesh. However, he's also felled with a single clean vertical strike. Worth noting that Cal's outfit, as well as his blue lightsaber, can not only be upgraded in appearance by collectibles along the way, but also can have a change in saber color too. Climbing the grating, BD-1 sets off to overcharge and sabotage the giant saw used for extracting valuable tree sap, which the Empire is basically enslaving the denizens of the planet to extract.
Thing. You had no idea that was there, did you? You just wanted to turn that cutter on.
Cal uses the new shortcut and shows his freezing force ability is also handy not only for taking care of dangerous hazards along the way, such as this fan. It's then he enters a clearing with a gaggle of Stormies who are ambushed by Weeshock or web weaver spiders. I don't know how to pronounce that. It has 3 Ys like Kashyyyk. They are a deadly arachnid-like creature native to Kashyyyk. According to the wiki, they were known to be intelligent enough to coordinate ambushes on unsuspecting creatures and had the tenacity to track their prey for over a kilometer. When attacking, they immobilize their victims with thick strands of web as seen and copious amounts of poisonous fluid from their upraised mandibles, and appear previously in the canon novel Aftermath, Life Debt, but also in several expanded universe media, including Star Wars Galaxies, The Force Unleashed novel this time, and Jedi Academy, among others. They are shown to web and then attack their prey, with Cal being bound during this combat. However, with successful use of saber throw for keeping distance, evasion, and precise strikes, Cal fells all three and gains another coveted skill point to spend later. Heading into a shadowy clearing with fallen stormtroopers emanating this bluish-hued glow, we then utilize the memory-revealing Force Echo power.
Patrol the base. Got another breach down here, some kind of webbing. Hey, who's that?
We also spot what appears to be a clone trooper's helmet from Yore when we are again ambushed by the next huge web spinner, revealing a quick cinematic event of slicing its legs off with a visceral finisher of plunging the lightsaber into its lower web sack. As we somewhat haphazardly head deeper into the shallow waters of the murky cave, which I personally would never do with these types of spiders around, just in case they can swim, we see even the smaller vines are handy tools for climbing. Heading out of the cave into another side of the installation, we see a mixer moving around a type of sludge, presumably the sap, which Cal uses his multifaceted Force Freeze ability to hold in place. BD-1 then does a handy scan of the barrels, revealing the contents are indeed the sap and also the quick lore update. We then sneak up on scout troopers whose dialogue is a not so shy nod to the infamous Obi-Wan Kenobi line.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
By the way, Respawn, all Easter eggs and lore nods are encouraged, if not appreciated.
I just heard from the captain. They're coming. Oh, this is it. At least we have the high ground. What was that? Cutter 7 is active. Reporting a live cutter near the cell block. Immediate aid requested. It's breaking through and destroying everything.
The scout troopers, distracted, are easy prey for Cal. He uses a pull stab for the one on the right and a lazy saber throw for the remainder. It's then faced with 3 bucket heads in a choke point. We see that a successful deflect, like Jedi power battles, is predicated purely on timing. An example being, the closer you let the bolt come to your body, the more likely you are to deflect it, so you have to do it at the last second, which is an amazingly fun feature versus a static hold of a button that we've seen previously. The third Stormtrooper kill is amazing by the virtue of the fact you can freeze enemies and the bolts, pull them, and then throw them into their own shots. After which we head into a new room with a skipped upgrade, some more precarious pipe trotting with a bout of parkour climbing, and Cal happens upon a conversation between a scout trooper with a purge trooper who make it clear we have a limited time before reinforcements arrive.
Jedi will be here any minute. And our reinforcements in retreat. Good. Sir, the fewer distractions, the better. Jedi incoming!
The scout trooper is unfortunately pushed over the edge without much of a fuss, and we are confronted by a room full of backup previously unseen. Using deflect to successfully bat back the blaster bolts coming from the high ground Stormies, we are left to contend with the scout troopers and the more formidable and immediate threat of the purge trooper.
All Jedi will perish!
Cal shows that Freeze is also an invaluable tool for juggling opponents and does a successful job of the scout trooper's baton before finishing him off. With the final purge trooper showing off mad flurry skills of his electro staff, Cal attempts to pull stab it, but unlike lower level plebs, he has his own counter move ready. Cal, having trouble evading the trooper who is showing off a few moves of his own, blocks and dodges, backing up, but when the trooper becomes too cocky, Cal swiftly displays his own pedigree with a lightsaber. It's then, at Cal's request, BD-1 administers another healing shot.
Need to slice this. No guards.
After slicing one last console, Cal finally arrives at his mission objective, to free the Wookiees.
Hey, we're here to free you. You're not alone.
However, we're not alone.
Visitation is not permitted.
That's it for the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order breakdown. Let me know if there's anything I missed. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date with the game and my other lore plays. I'm really excited for this game and I hope to hear your thoughts too. As always, thanks for watching and I shall see you next time, Traveler.